Ahamed, the Vice President of the Muslim Council of Sri Lanka. So thank you for joining us. You have condemned these attacks. You said that these extremists do not represent Islam. How concerned are you about a backlash, about retaliation against Muslims after these attacks?
We certainly think that, there could be retaliation, but, the last 3 days have shown that, no major incident has been reported, which is comforting. And we only now fear that vested interests might take advantage of this and try to create chaos in the cities.
So Muslims have been asked to stay low, to not gather for Friday prayers. You were saying that there have been no incidents against Muslims in recent days, but how are you going to move forward here? How are you talking with other Muslim leaders, other individuals in the community about responding to what happened last Sunday? And the most important thing, to try to prevent that horrific extremist violence from happening again.
Yeah, this particular assault came as a total shock for the Muslims. The Muslims never anticipated this kind of terror to be committed by anybody calling themselves Muslims. Throughout Sri Lanka's history, Muslims have been a peace-loving group, and even during the 30-year war, none of them took up to arms, even though a whole community was expelled from their homes in the north. But you see, we also feel very guilty that we didn't do enough to prevent this, because we should have been a little more vigilant, knowing very well that some of them were using social media to create hate.
Sri Lanka, as you say, is a peace-loving nation, but there should be more vigilance. So how? What should people be vigilant for? What should they be on the lookout for to identify extremism in your country?
Basically, you see, we are a small community, and the radicals may be a maximum of 200 across the country. So out of 2 million, 200 is a very negligible figure. And we should have monitored them. We should have mobilized our mosques to ensure that there was no radicalization of the youth. As we know that, some of them even traveled to Syria to join with ISIS. But, they were brought back and rehabilitated.
Yeah, I mean, they represent a very, very, very small portion of the community, and yet it involves some pretty prominent individuals. 2 of the suicide bombers involved in these attacks were members of a prominent and wealthy family. Their father, a spice tycoon named Muhammad Ibrahim. Did you know this family? Do you know how they came to be radicalized?
Yeah, that is a huge mystery. I personally didn't know the family, but I knew of the person, because he's fairly well-established spice merchant, and people claim that he was the 3rd largest spice exporter from Sri Lanka. And you see, with the ISIS claim, a lot of the puzzle seems to be fitting in, because ISIS has always been targeting not the poor, but well-educated middle-class youth. So almost all the suicide bombers, other than Zahran, fit that category of people.
Hilmy Ahamed, we thank you for joining us. Take care.